Hey, big spenders. I once again started recording and talking and wasn't really recording. Um, oh, actually, this is like yesterday's lipstick. Yeah, I rolled in late last night. Not too late, but late enough. From Oklahoma last night. I worked the first part of the day. I had an article to get finished, so I worked on that until like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and then went out for a gravy burger for lunch before I left Oklahoma because I was in Tulsa and I hadn't had a gravy burger yet. So, and then grabbed a coffee and hit the road. I think this might be the first time in 21 trips I've made it either to or from Oklahoma in under 7 hours. I was ready to, as wonderful as the trip was, it was time to get home uh, and start a spell of recovery. Um, Oklahoma was great. It was really great. It always is. Which also forgot to mention Happy Woody Guthrie Day. Um, he was born 114 years ago today. I've been researching him for 14 and a half of those years. So, yeah, still on it. And more so after this weekend because it was, oh, man, I love my Woody people. And I love that I walk into the Woody Guthrie Center and I am instantly greeted with a hug. And not just a, oh, hey, but a bone crushing sister. You're here. It's so great. Yeah, it's if you're gonna have an adopted family, it's not a bad one to have. But yeah, how did this trip go? Oh my god, it's gonna be a while before I write about it because I still have solid sound stuff to write about because I have been on the road, and when I haven't been on the road, I've either been sick or getting migraine tests or getting migraine test results or which okay on that front we found out what's wrong with me, and it's mostly kind of treatable. I'll always have some dizziness, but in addition to having severe migraine disease, which will be treated the way migraines are treated, and it's kind of hit or miss, um, they found two other things that are not right in my vestibular system. One, these are all, the vestibular system is the deep inner ear that controls balance. And like beyond, you learn about the little bones in the ear, it's past that. And it's the part that connects to the brain. And these organs all communicate with the brain to keep you balanced and to keep you informed on your position at all times. And mine does not work. There are two organs in each vestibular system, so four total, that control your center of gravity. They have nothing to do with speech. That's just me not being quite awake yet. Um, Out of those four organs that control center of gravity, I only have one that works. This is why I literally, if I'm standing, if I'm not sitting down, if I'm standing or laying down, I feel like I am actively falling. You know, the falling dream where you're falling asleep and you feel like you're falling and you wake up before you hit the ground. That's how I feel all the time. And that's why. Now we know why. The other thing that's wrong is there's a series of organs next to that control balance, and they're encased in bone, part of our skull. And I took, back in like 1994, the day Kurt Cobain died, had nothing to do with his death, but it was the day Kurt Cobain died, I whacked my head right on the temple. Wound up in the emergency room with a concussion. I likely damaged those bones when that happened. And I either have thinning in the bone or a hole. And what that's doing is it's allowing too many electrical impulses to go from that organ to my brain, which makes my brain go, oh God, we're falling all the time. So, um, the success rate for therapy, for treatment for this is pretty high. I start my treatments on, I think, July 27th, 23rd or 27th, somewhere in there. And yeah, it's going to be pretty intense. It's on the opposite side of St. Louis from me, for one thing. So I'm going to be traveling a little bit back and forth. Lots of 1+ hour round trip loops out to Chesterfield, for these half-hour treatment sessions, for 7 weeks, twice a week. And then we will, halfway through, we'll reevaluate and make sure we're on the right track, and then keep going. And that means there's a chance that long before my birthday even, that I might be kind of back to normal a little bit. So I'm excited and hopeful. It's going to change a lot of things in a good way. So anyway, Oklahoma. I did not puke this trip at all. Mostly because I learned some good nausea control techniques through my testing and such. Yeah, I got my test results, and like I said, the clinic is like on the opposite end of St. Louis to the west. And so I decided, it's like, I'm just going to leave from there. And I was starting the trip in Oklahoma City, which is a little longer than I like to drive in one day right now. The Massachusetts round trip kind of showed me, it's like, I can do about 6-7 hours on the road with this. And after that, it's a little much. So it's like, I'm not going to go to all the way to Oklahoma City. So I spent the night in Joplin. I get into the room and I'm exhausted. I flop down on my back on the bed. I'm laying there looking at the ceiling. And it's like, that's a crack in the ceiling. It's a little crack in the ceiling. It's a little crack, and it's got two little tiny cracks coming off of it. It's not a slug. It's a crack in the ceiling. And I'm like, let's get a better look. And I took a photo of it. I zoomed in. I'm like, oh, that's looking a lot like a slug, but no, it's a crack. Desperately wanting this to not be a slug, even though it's like that big, tiny little thing. So I stand up and I look at it. I'm like, nope, that's a slug. I don't like slugs. But I'm not freaking out about it because, I mean, it's a humid area. It's hot. It's summer. But I called down to the front desk to tell them, it's like, hey, just so you know, I got a visitor, got a roommate. There's a slug in here. You don't have to come get it or anything. Just, you might want to check the seal on the windows. And the desk clerk responds by saying, oh, Lord, I thought you were going to tell me it was a gecko. What? So we get those. Okay, so I have a slug in my room and I might have geckos. All right. What kind of ecosystem is this? Was this stirred up by the tornado 15 years ago? What the fuck? So I went to sleep, rather concerned that I might wake up with slugs in my hair from falling off the ceiling. I did not. I'm okay. Then I went to Oklahoma City and spent some time working. I've got an article due. I think I mentioned that. I have an article. It was due. I turned it in. But I worked on that, and then went to the first night of Woody Guthrie Poets, first reading, in a beautiful century-old movie theater. It's been rehabbed, and it's like the art house movie theater. And the air conditioner was out. So, oh my God. You know how you walk into a movie theater and you just instantly brace for that really, really frigid cold? Imagine having the opposite happen. Like, oh my God, what is happening? It was hot. The readings were hot too. It was really great. It was great. And then I spent that night in Oklahoma City, and then went to Okemah, Oklahoma, Woody's hometown, the next morning, and watched the next round of readings, which were incredible. This year, with Woody Guthrie Poets, the whole thing is they put out a call for submissions in the spring, and they pick a Woody lyric to use as inspiration. And this year's was all too timely. It was from the song Deportee, and the lyric was, "All they will call you will be deportee." And Kai, our curator and host for the past 2 years and for next year, did something really cool. The whole gist of the song was there was a plane crash in 1948. It's a plane full of legal Mexican workers being flown back to Mexico. And the plane crashed. Everybody on board was killed. The only people any news sources mentioned by name were the pilot, co-pilot, flight attendant, and the INS agent, who was actually honored last year for his services. Everybody else was just called deportees. Woody was furious because everybody should have the dignity of having their name. And so he wrote this song. And Kai stood up at the beginning of each reading and read the names of the 20 people who have been killed by ICE since the beginning of 2026. And to wake up the morning after the last reading and find out, no, it's now 21. Just sickening. There was a lot of anger in the readings and in the poetry, as there should be. So if anyone's wondering where the voice of the resistance is, listen to your poets. Look to your writers. We're out here putting it down. And as I've said a few times this weekend, we're saying the things out loud that most people are afraid to say. I read on Sunday at the Woody Guthrie Center, and I'll change the tone here a little bit, although we've got to keep that tone in mind, because Jesus Christ, these fucking rent-a-cops are murdering people in the streets, literally, and have been. Okay. So, do you want to see how to make a bunch of poets absolutely lose their shit? Because I saw what'll do it on Sunday. Yeah. So, we're all trickling in before the reading at the Woody Guthrie Center. And there's a theater, and it shows a little intro to Woody 13-minute film. And so we were letting the last round of that film play, and we're all kind of loitering out in the lobby, and everybody's chatting, and it's like summer camp, everybody arriving at summer camp, and I haven't seen you in a year, oh my God. And then all of a sudden it starts getting kind of quiet, and the quiet keeps kind of moving along. It gets to me, and I'm talking to my friend Darrell, who's a good 1.5 feet taller than me, so I can't see behind him. And he says, there's like a whisper network kind of breaking out as it's getting quiet. And it gets to Darrell, and he kind of looks over his shoulder, and he looks at me, and he goes, "Robin, Joy Harjo is behind me." If you don't know, if you're not in the poet circles, I don't expect you to. It's kind of a niche thing. Joy Harjo was not the most recent U.S. Poet Laureate, but she was the one before that. She was Poet Laureate up until about 4 years ago. Incredible Indigenous writer who's based in Tulsa. I ran into her on the street a couple of years ago and made a total ass of myself. Oh my God, the dumbest I've ever been around a famous person. And there she is, standing behind Darrell. And the theater opens, and she goes in and takes a seat, and we're all standing in the lobby going, oh my God, we all have to read in front of a former poet laureate. Fuck. It was kind of a. Some of us are kind of. We weren't prepared for this. There were 12 of us reading. I was fifth on the list. And luckily, the stage lights were really, really bright in that theater. The theater there is really dark, and the stage lights are super bright. And I couldn't see past the first couple of rows because it was dark past there. And so I couldn't see her. So I just convinced myself, oh, she left. No, she left. She's not here. Afterwards, I found out, no, she was there for the whole thing. So I have now read for a former U.S. poet laureate. I know. I'm pretty giddy about it. That's a pretty awesome person to. Oh my God. The fact we all read for her and she didn't run out screaming. Oh my God, we must not be that. We must be pretty good. So, yeah. Blew my mind. Went out and had dinner with everyone afterwards. I'd never done that before, even though I've been invited to be in these readings since 2018, minus 2 years for COVID. And I've always kind of felt like an outlier because I don't consider myself a poet. And the people doing this, one of them was just nominated for the National Book Award. I mean, there are people with serious chops. And I get to read with them. I'm chosen to get to read with them. I'm not a poet. I'm a writer, not a poet. A couple of years ago, actually, Paul, who's the one with the National Book Award nominee, told me, it's like, shut up, you're a poet. I've heard your work, I've read your work, you're a poet. Okay. Just one day a year, I'm a poet. I'll take it with great honor and obviously so much dignity. But yeah, I went out to dinner with everyone, and again, it's a wonderful family to be a part of. I love it. I returned very happy. Got up yesterday, dizzier than I've been in a very long time, but still not throwing up. So I got a late checkout and finished writing my article and got the dizziness somewhat under control. And went out, got a gravy burger like I do in Tulsa. I think I told you this already, but it's been a wild couple of weeks. And now I'm staying put. Because I have this vestibular therapy and treatments to start. And CJ's going to be going back to school sooner than later. It's going to come up pretty quick. And I've got a lot of writing to do. I got to catch up. I still need to write some Solid Sound stuff for y'all, and I got to write about this Oklahoma trip, and I got other stuff I'm working on too. So I got to get to it. Thank you for your support. Thank you so much for your support. This was another trip that I was doing on a wing and a prayer financially, and the wing broke at one point. And yeah, it sucked, but it was worth it. All right, bye y'all.